A crypto project tied to Grok just got hacked for $174,000. I'm going to break that down for you, and we'll also go over a bunch of other things. Telegram and TONCOIN, there's a major announcement there, and Telegram is really starting to take more and more space around TONCOIN. We get into that, plus a lot more. Coinbase is laying people off. We also talk about GameStop potentially trying to acquire eBay and what that could mean for Bitcoin. Anyway, I've got a lot to cover. Like I said, hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Red, the crypto news channel. Let's start with the market. It's a good day overall. Bitcoin at around $81,000, Ethereum at $2,400. So yeah, good day for cryptocurrencies. And let's jump straight into the story about this crypto project that got hacked in a pretty unusual way. We're talking about BankerBot. Not sure if you heard of it, and the token that got drained, DRB. To understand what happened, we need to rewind a bit. Some time ago, a user asked Grok, the AI of X, to come up with the token name. The suggestion was a token named Deep Relief Bot. Then a project, BankerBot, went ahead and deployed the token on the base blockchain, and they allocated part of the supply to wallet linked to Grok, a wallet linked to Grok and managed by Grok. And here's the key detail. When you do that, the wallet is actually controlled through X, Twitter, to the X account tied to it. So the account that created the token through that setup, can trigger action like transfer tokens. And what happened next is where it gets interesting. An attacker managed, we still don't know exactly how, to manipulate the bot into sending the funds to the attacker. There are a few theories going around. Some people say it was through Morse code. Morse code was used, sent to the bot, and which then translated it. That part isn't confirmed. I checked the official account of the person behind BankerBot, and the only thing they're confirmed is that there was manipulation involved. And here's the sequence as we understand it. First, an NFT was sent to Grok's wallet. That NFT basically enabled the interaction. Not really permission in the strict sense, but it allowed Grok to issue instructions to BankerBot. Since Grok was also the one associated with deploying the DRB token, it could technically trigger transfers. Then the attacker, who later deleted their accounts, so we don't have the full trace, he likely sent the crafted instruction to Grok, something like translate this Morse code message into English, and that hidden message would actually mean transfer all tokens to this address. So Grok just did its job. It translated the message. Then BankerBot interpreted that output as an actual command. It basically said, all right, Grok, you just asked me to transfer the token to this address, and I will do it. And the end result was over $175,000 worth of tokens that were drained. So is this Grok's fault? No, Grok just translated input. It has no way of knowing how different projects are going to plug into it and to plug some financial logic into it. The real issue is how BankerBot was designed. There were no safeguards in place to prevent this kind of behavior. So I wouldn't blame the AI itself. I wouldn't blame Grok at all. The problem is how the project used AI to control funds and executed transfers. This is where you need to be very careful with AI. I'm a big fan of AI, really, I use it all the time, but it can absolutely be manipulated. You can make it say things, we can feed it instruction it shouldn't act on. We talk a lot about prompt injection now. It's similar to what used before. What happened still happened in traditional systems with SQL injection, SQLI. But here, instead of injecting code, you inject prompts, instruction that the AI will execute even though it wasn't supposed to. And that's exactly the kind of vulnerability we're seeing here. So yeah, that's the situation around Grok and this hack. And yeah, this is still pretty small in the grand scheme of things. We're talking about $175,000, and the DRP token is relatively small anyway. But still, it's worth talking about this. Now, moving on, there's TONCOIN, TON, the TON token. it has absolutely pumped. I mean, really pumped. We're talking about 36% in 24 hours. So what happened? Well, it comes down to a tweet from Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram. Well, took a look at what he posted. He announced that fees on Ton network have been divided by 6. Basically, fees are almost zero right now on Ton. But that's not even the most important part. The real trigger, the sentence that really sent the token flying, is what comes next. He said that Telegram is going to replace the TON Foundation as the main driving force behind the TON token, and also become its largest validator. So concretely, what you're seeing here is Telegram officially stepping back as the leader behind TONCOIN. You have to remember, TONCOIN originally came from a massive ICO. They raised around $4 billion at the time, if I remember correctly, led by Telegram. It was Telegram who did this ICO. Then the US Security and Exchange Commission stepped in and said they couldn't proceed because it was illegal. Telegram refunded investors and the community ended up launching TONCOIN on its own. Over time, Telegram slowly moved closer again to TONCOIN. They likely invested or they integrated the token more and more into the app. We don't have every detail, but TON became increasingly tied to Telegram's ecosystem. And now it couldn't be clearer. This looks like a form of takeover, or at least a strong reclaiming of control over TONCOIN. We'll have to see how this plays out. In a truly decentralized network, multiple entities can contribute to development, but honestly, Telegram has been the main driver of TON adoption from day one through its platform, and now they're basically making it official. We're taking back control of TONCOIN. The market clearly loved that. And if you go on ton.org, you will see something interesting. It now says that the site is controlled by a new entity. What is this entity? It's quite strange. It's called mTonga. What does it mean? mTonga. It means make Ton great again. Pretty obvious reference, and you can assume it's closely tied to Telegram in some way. We'll get more details later, but the message is clear. They want to go beyond the TON Foundation and become the main force behind this project. So let's talk now about GameStop. You remember GameStop? It blew during the whole GameStop short squeeze with the Wall Street Bets, Reddit, and everything. The stock went crazy. It basically it pumped like it was huge. It reached $100 or even more. The price exploded, and GameStop used that opportunity to issue shares and build up a massive war chest. They now have close to $10 billion in cash. And here's the crazy part. They just announced they want to acquire eBay. We're talking about the $55 billion deal. Just to give you perspective, GameStop itself is worth way less, around $10 to $13 billion. So they're trying to buy a company way bigger than them. The plan is to use their $10 billion in cash and roughly their 5% stake they already hold in eBay and borrow $20 billion from a bank. And honestly, that's still not enough. They probably have to raise more debt to issue new shares. But still, this is massive. We're talking about a huge aggressive acquisition attempt. And this could have an impact on BTC because GameStop had accumulated over $300 million in BTC, which they recently transferred to Coinbase. So clearly, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. I think they're getting ready to sell all of that. $360 million isn't that big for the market, for the BTC market. Even if they sell everything, there's no reason to panic. Still, it's interesting to watch this kind of news unfold. It's also tied to the deal involving the president of GameStop because he has a massive financial incentive to push GameStop market cap above $100 billion. If he managed to pull that off, he gets a huge bonus. I saw something like $35 billion in bonus, so it's just insane. So obviously he's highly motivated to make it happen, which explains their aggressive acquisitions. And it's fascinating to see how a single stock that originally blew up because of a Reddit-driven buzz is now turning into something massive that could even lead to the acquisition of eBay. Honestly, I found that completely crazy, and that's the news for GameStop. Now let's get back to AI. Take a look at this announcement. Coinbase just announced they're cutting 14% of their workforce. They're being very clear about it. We're in a bear market. They've been through multiple bear markets before, and they want to stay positioned properly. Not just because they're making good money right now, but also because of AI. They said it outright. AI is changing how work gets done. A small group of people can now create way more than before. Even a single person can produce what entire teams used to handle just a few years ago. And that's true, the impact of AI now is huge. I see it myself. I use these tools every day. Right now, I'm on OpenAI Codex. Before, I was using Claude Code. And now, yeah, I switched to Codex. What you can do is just insane. It feels pretty Codex and Claude Code feels pretty similar, but yeah, I like Codex now. It's my kind of go-to tool for the moment. At the moment, so yeah, it's incredibly powerful. You can't even imagine everything you can do: coding, analyzing data, building things. Even if you don't code directly, you can deploy features on website, create full website, build apps. It's completely reshaping how this company operates. They used to hire tons of people, and now they're laying off, and even slowing down hiring. So yeah, we saw Meta also announce major layoffs not long ago as well. And yeah, I think this is just the beginning. We have no idea what the job market will look like in a few years with even more powerful AI. Even even the AI we have now are already really powerful. So yeah, I believe the world is really changing. And in my opinion, the best way to prepare is to build capital, real capital. That can be real estate, crypto, stocks. These are the things there are the kinds of assets that will keep value and probably gain even more with AI. I'm convinced, for example, that with all these AI companies emerging in the US that will eventually go public, for instance, OpenAI and Anthropic, and of course, you already have NVIDIA, the stock market as a whole is likely to grow significantly. Company performance will also improve thanks to AI, more efficiency, better returns. So it's pretty clear why it makes sense to have exposure to the real economy and, of course, to crypto as well. Personally, I'm way more exposed to crypto than anything else, but these kinds of assets are what will matter long term. Maybe even form the basis of retirement for whatever comes next. Of course, there's another theory that in the future we all have some kind of universal basic income thanks to the productivity gains from AI. Maybe we'll see, but I'm not taking any chance, and I prefer to have capital. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share today about the latest crypto news. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for more. Bye bye.